What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video on my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about something that many entrepreneurs, when they first start out, they might not have a lot of, and that is momentum. And what is momentum, right? Well, in business, normally you go through peaks. We go through peaks and then we go through troughs. So it's always highs, there's always lows. But typically, right, when you're first starting out, you're starting out from ground zero. And I myself, right, I run an ad agency specialized in the e-com niche. And right now I'm gravitating between 1K to 2K a month in revenue for the business. And typically when you first start out, right, you start out from ground zero and you don't really know what the hell you're doing yet. So typically struggling causes many people to quit in like the first year when they start a business because they don't understand the power of compound interest and the effects that it takes for you to see results after 90 days. So when I started out, right, I've been in this space for about a year now, and the biggest thing for me was my first 6 months, right, I bought a course and decided to do it all by myself. So I bought a course, was learning that, and then implementing some stuff, but as I would get clients, right, I remember I had one client, it was a scramble to get that client results because I was still starting out yet, and I was trying to find a proper contractor. So that after I closed that first deal, I stopped my structure to get more clients. And typically for that whole 6 month period, literally I was doing nothing with my agency, wasting a bunch of time on nonsense stuff that wasn't really pushing the needle. So really, typically that's sort of the beginner's luck when you first start out, is you don't know what to focus on. And so for myself, right, there's three things I put focus on, and that first thing is building a system that lands clients, or builds that system that gets client attraction. So typically, right, I'm in Facebook, I make a couple posts here and there, and then I get clients that way. So that's one system I've been doing consistently now. And then the second one is typically I have a team now that does the whole service side for the e-com space. So that's a huge help. And then third thing is selling. So getting a client through Facebook, getting them on a messenger chat, and then getting them on a sales call. That's the whole 3-step process it takes to get clients, land clients, get client results, and then ultimately scale the agency. So I've been working with a mentor, and this guy's really been helping me skip through the learning curve it takes to scale an agency. So now I'm focusing on actual stuff that's going to grow the business. And typically when you're a beginner, you don't know what the hell to do. So those are the three things to focus on. Is one, building a system that lands clients organically. And so when you first start out, right, typically I'd say move from cold calling. Don't cold call, don't cold email, don't do any of that. Just build an authority brand either on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or some of these platforms. Because as you start posting content, posting valuable stuff, you're gonna have people reach out to you and asking for help for their business. Typically that's what I see building these platforms, and with that it's easier to close a client on a sales call if they've come to you directly asking for help, instead of you reaching out to them and basically begging them for your service. So number one, that's the biggest thing right there, is having a system to land clients consistently through organic methods when you're first starting out. Second thing is building a team around, right? So as an agency owner, right, I don't want to spend my time devoting precious time that could be on landing clients to then trying to do the work when I bring on a client. That's the biggest mistake many people make, and typically that's not a proper way to scale a business, right? As an entrepreneur, my goal is to have the right people in place to then get the client results, and ultimately just manage that link, that chain between the client and my team. So that's the biggest thing, right? Having just hire a contractor to do the work for you. That's the biggest setup. That's gonna skip past like you struggling and trying to do it by yourself. So that's the second thing. And third thing, which I'm currently working at right now and still learning, is selling on the call. So as clients or prospects reach out to me on Messenger and they're like, hey, I saw your post in this group. I want to know if you're able to work with my business. So typically asking them a ton of questions on Messenger, see if they're qualified, move them onto a sales call. And so the biggest thing I noticed when I hopped on a couple sales calls is when I first started out, I was nervous. Number one, I was nervous, didn't know what the hell to ask, what questions I was asking. I didn't know what I was even doing. I didn't know the structure of my offer. And so working with a mentor really expedited that process. And now I'm learning properly how to sell my service and sell my offer for my business. So the types of questions I'm asking are now more in depth. They're not really about business. They're typically about the mental state of the prospect. And when you approach sales in a way of not just asking questions instead of trying to sell right away, that changes the whole process when it comes to sell. And that's how people are able to sell like 10K retainers, 20K retainers, because typically, right, client is coming to you because they have a problem, and that first problem maybe is they're trying to scale their business, but they don't know how. Might have tried in the past, but their ROAS suffered in the end. So this is like the generic problem many people have in the e-com space when they look to hire an agency. So with that being said, when they have a call, right, you understand that that's the main problem. That's why they're reaching out to you. But typically, as many e-com brand owners, they have a lot of doubt and they have a lot of mistrust, especially in the e-com space, because e-com is filled with a bunch of, like, you have your drop shippers, you have your people that, your agencies that don't know what they're heavily doing. So there's a lot of doubt in the e-com space. So typically when you hop on a call, your goal is to ask questions to then guide them to understand that, to get them to say, this is the problem I have. I have doubt. I've worked with these people in the past. They burned me. So it's that whole process of building trust, because you're asking the right questions to then get the client to then understand, like, oh shoot, I'm struggling. I'm gonna keep wasting more money. And then when it's time to bridge your offer on the sales call, right, you lay out the specific offer that you're gonna do for their business, and then you approach it that way. They hear the offer, they're like, wow, I can't refuse this offer, because this is such a good deal, because it's gonna help my business, and I'm working with a person I actually trust. And then you're able to charge like 3K retainers on a 3-month minimum and stuff like that. So that's one thing I'm learning right now at the moment. But typically when you dominate those 3 things, then you have a full lean business, especially for the agency side. Typically, right, when it comes to setting up Facebook campaigns, you really don't need to learn Facebook ads to run a successful ad agency. You just need the proper team to deliver the results for the client. And you look at, I look at agency like this, you're simply just a middleman. You look at other businesses like Expedia, they make way more money than the airlines who fly customers 24/7. They make more money than them, and that's because they're the middleman. Look at Amazon, what is it? It's simply just the middleman. So it's this whole middleman way of thinking. This is the new future for e-com, and especially with the internet, this allows you to have a business starting from home. And so when beginners start out building momentum, that's ultimately what they struggle with, because they don't know where to start. They don't know what to focus on, what things are going to move the needle for the business. So I'd say those are the 3 things you need to focus on to then build momentum, and then just keep grinding consistently for like the next year or 2. Because typically when I look at it like this, right, when I have an agency starting up, I'm taking the sacrifice right now. I'm investing the 12 months, 24 months to then build this thing up. And then when it builds up, it's just like a snowball effect that once you push it downhill, it keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And then you're able to do cool things where you're able to build a social brand. You have people now, you start implementing paid traffic, then you have clients coming at you at your doorstep. You have like 4 to 5 meetings every single day. And then that's just the systematic approach when it comes to an agency. And then that's just one asset of a business that you have, and then now allows you more time freedom to then invest in more assets. So that's typically the biggest thing right now for beginners, is just to build momentum, focus on 3 things, and then really just get real consistent with it and try to make it as streamlined as possible. And that's going to be super beneficial in the long run. So that's mainly what I wanted to cover in this video. I hope to help. If you have any questions, just comment them down below. Like I said, I help e-com brands go to 6 to 7 figures. If you're interested in wanting to see what my agency does specifically, I'll leave my calendar down below. You can just book a call with me, and then I'll ask you a couple questions, and we'll just get going. So that's for any e-com brand owners that want to get started. If you're new to business, you're new to my channel, and you want to get started, right? Just follow my videos, follow my content. I'll be posting weekly, and then yeah. So other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comment them down below, and then yeah, look forward for more content. Appreciate y'all. Deuces.